Welcome back to the Gamekeepers Cottage Diaries. Welcome back to Gamekeepers Cottage. It's the 12th of April and I'm here for a week just over the Easter period before Easter, and I'm going to start off with a bit of a plot tour. So we'll have a wander around and see how things have changed in the month since I was here before. So we're starting off down here in the stable yard in the corner at the gate hedge, and as you can see, the little bit of blossom that was here before seems to have disappeared, but we do have quite a few leaves now showing on the plants that are come up into their second year, the original hedge plants that we planted. And then obviously we've got the little oak that we planted back at the end of January. Even that is starting to show a few buds, and also the yew next to it, and you can see at the top of that there's a few leaves starting to form. And if we just stop for a second over the plane noise, you can hear the bird song. No, it decided to stop just as I stopped talking. And as we wander down looking at the hedge, you can see there are lots of things now starting to grow, showing their leaves, and buds starting to come. There's Felix, who's joined us for our plot tour this morning, having a quick run away. As we wander down to the little blackberry patch here, obviously no action here yet. Again, plenty of signs of life elsewhere. We won't actually bother going out of the gate, but the few bulbs that I planted there, as expected, didn't flower, and there's not really much to see there now. But let's wander around towards the back garden and see what's happening. So as you can see here, as we wander around towards the back garden and the apple trees in the orchard, obviously this first one, we've got the first signs of a lot of pink blossom starting to show on this apple tree. And as we continue round, apologies for the plane noise as usual, this is the cherry tree with a lot of white blossom on it at the moment, so that's nice to see. And then obviously this side of it, we've got all of the little catkins on this tree. We really need to do something with this at some stage, but for the moment it's showing a lot of growth. These are the hedge plants, or some of them, that we planted back at the end. If you remember, the hawthorn and blackthorn, which are starting to show leaves on them. And if we wander over, we'll look at the raspberry bush next. So a month ago, this was just showing a few little signs of life sticking out above the ground. And as you can see now, there are quite a bit of development. So we'll keep an eye on that. I probably need to do a little bit of weeding within its little area. So we'll drag out a few things out of there. But it's good to see some growth there. Again, more blossom, not so much in these trees, but still quite a bit of blossom around here. And we'll wander over, take a look at the nectarine now. So the few little buds that we had of pink blossom here have gone, but we have got quite a few leaves on that. And then if we look at the peach tree, wait, I can't remember what it was now, but whatever, we'll find that out later. Again, more leaves in here. And then this is the pear tree that is showing a nice lot of white blossom. And more little bits of white and pink blossom back through in the apple trees there. Now we'll wander around towards the main part of the back garden. On our way towards the back garden, this is the large patch of daffodils that I left you with at the end of the last video, and as you can see, they've pretty much gone over now. The flowers are starting to die. We'll just leave those to die off, but we'll just wander around into the back garden, into the main part of it. We've put a few bits of tarpaulin down at the moment to try and kill off some of the grass in preparation for other work. As we wander around, again, you can see the daffodil patch around the tree here, starting to look a bit sorry for itself. And we've got a great tit, I think it is, up there in the tree, who's just been enjoying itself at one of the feeders. So let's have a look around in here. So you can see these are the hedge plants that again we planted at the end of January, which are beginning to show some of their foliage. But we also have down in here a snake's head fritillary, which is growing from one of the bulbs that we planted last autumn. And also down in here, the ramsons, the wild garlic that we planted a month ago. As you can see, their leaves have widened out now. We'll continue around looking at this area. As usual, I need to do quite a bit of digging out in here. But again, we do have in there another snake's head fritillary showing itself. Here again, the daffodils are all past their best, but we do have a few bluebells, and over there starting to appear. They'll probably flower in the next week or two. I think when I was here in April last time, they were in full bloom, so we'll see what happens to them. Again, a lot of nice growth on these hedge plants. So these are the ones that were planted January a year ago, so they're just over a year old, and we are starting to see a nice hedge developing here. I'll just wander around. Again, a few bluebells in amongst the tulips. I think they may be bluebells that I actually planted. I'd have to check back over the videos to see what bulbs I planted and where, but I think we planted some bluebells, so that could well be them. And then we've got another snake's head fritillary down in there. More of them dotted around, but a lot of nice growth, as I said before, on the hedge plants. And also, the snake's head fritillaries seem to have done particularly well. I'm not seeing any of the other bulbs that we planted. I can't work out what those ones are with the large leaves down there. And obviously, as usual, we have got this absolute monster of a rose. And as we wander around, again, more of the hedge plants and some, I don't think those are actually tulips. I would need to check what we planted to see what they are, and if I can work it out I will add on a little bit of text over it. But I think they are some of the bulbs that we planted last year. Again, as we wander around, I really need to tidy up this area of the hedge, but we are still getting a lot of growth. That rose looks a bit unhealthy, but it's still growing, so hopefully that will come back this year. We've got some lavender starting to show in there. And as we wander around, we'll just finish with the Gelder rose in this bed. And there's quite a few leaves on that. But that's it for the plot tour. I'll come back in a while and just update you on what my plans are for the week that I'm here. One thing I did miss on my walk around, on the large tree you can see we have some white blossom starting to appear. I'm really not sure what type of tree this is, but it will in a couple of weeks be full of blossom. So I mean, hopefully I might be here at the end of the week to see some of that and add a bit to another video. We'll have to see. So as I said, I'm here for a week. The first thing that I'm planning on doing is properly digging out the square area in front of the back door and putting in some form of paving slabs there. So I'll be digging it out to a much deeper depth, putting in some hardcore and some sharp sand, and then the paving on top of it. And then the second area that I want to try and finish off is the small semicircular area in front of the seat. So I will dig this out, again hardcore, and I will probably put pea gravel on top of it, but I'll work that out in a while. That's the second priority. I also want to try and put the final bit of digging out for the path, which will go around this side of the tree and in front of the border there and round here, just to try and cut down on the amount of digging that we need, sorry, not digging, mowing that we need to do all the time. And then, weather permitting, because the weather is a bit dodgy, I would like to dig out the border that is going to go here, so the main flower border. Unfortunately, it's going to mean having to remove those daffodils, but hopefully I can dig them out and plant them elsewhere. We've got a lot of daffodils, so if we lose a few it's no big deal, but we would like to at least start getting the border in. But all of those jobs are going to be for a future video. I'll leave this video now and we'll just leave it with a little look around at some of the flowers at this time of the year. All that remains is for me to thank you for watching and to ask that if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and join us in the comments below to help the channel grow. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.